Hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of Low-Key Chaotic. I know this podcast often tackles big, heavy topics from power structures to gender to intimacy. And usually the inspiration comes from something personal that leads me into like a broader reflection. And this week, I just didn't want to force a topic just because it sounds more serious or academic. I wanted to stay true to me and what's kind of weighing on my heart and on my body, because I deliver thoughts and reflections best when it's something I'm inspired by in the moment. And I've always wanted to be a vessel or a source of like conversation and knowledge and inspiration. And I can do that the best when I'm talking about shit I give a fuck about. And there's plenty of things I'm interested in, but there's not always plenty of things I'm inspired by in the moment. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Anyways, this week, I want to talk about the fear of losing yourself when you start to like someone again. I thought that this topic deserves space, not just because it's incredibly relevant to my situation right now, but because it's an extremely universal experience. Plenty of us have gone through this whole thing where you are losing yourself in your partner, in your relationship, in your marriage, in your whatever. And if you're here for the first time, hi, welcome. Go back 2 episodes, because this is kind of like a continuation of everything that has been happening in my life the past 3 weeks and everything that it's been making me think about and feel. So if you all want it to make sense perfectly, go back to I Hate Love and Sex and start listening from there. So yeah, that's what we're talking about today. Today is about every woman who's ever been taught to love at the expense of herself, every woman who's ever lost her identity in a relationship, every woman who's ever been scared of repeating an old story. So this whole dating thing and actually spending time with somebody that I like is making me afraid of losing myself. And I feel like this fear showed up because I noticed how much I enjoy spending time with this person, but also how much I want to escape reality. Like the whole time, I just want to cuddle. I don't want to do anything else but cuddle. And then whenever like we're done cuddling and it's back to reality, shit just hits me like a brick in the fucking face. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm supposed to be doing XYZ. I have dreams to achieve, routines to stick to, a job to do. Like I've worked so hard to be in the place that I'm at now, and I'm about to just throw that out the window because I like to cuddle. Like that's fucking ridiculous. And then I go down this spiral of like being super like kind of harsh to myself and very dramatic and panicky. And I feel like I lose that grip I have on my identity, right? Like I feel like my routines are loose, that my confidence is kind of shaky, that my independence is kind of dissolving in front of me, with me in real time. And all of this happens before, like, I don't even know the guy properly yet. It's been how many weeks? Like 3 or 4? Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Like literally from, I don't know how many times we've cuddled together now. 5 times? I don't know. It's just, I think deep down, it scares me because it's so familiar, right? It's so familiar because I lost myself in my ex completely lost myself in my ex. Like the kind of losing yourself where you don't even notice it at first, but because you mistake it for love or devotion or loyalty. And with him, making him happy was literally my entire life mission. His mood absolutely dictated my mood. If he was stressed, I was stressed. If he was happy, I felt safe. If he pulled away, I collapsed. Like my entire nervous system oriented itself around him. Like he was the sun and I was some tiny dependent planet with no atmosphere of its own. And the worst part is that I didn't think anything was wrong. I didn't even know what boundaries were back then. I thought love meant being all in. You know what I mean? Which like in my head, it just translated to I need to shrink myself until I fit into every expectation you never even said out loud. I forgot what I liked. I forgot what I dreamed of. I forgot my own personality. I forgot my own needs. I became this version of myself that only existed in relation to him. A reflection, not a person. And even when things were deeply wrong, when there was emotional and physical abuse happening, when the manipulation was happening, when the gaslighting was happening, the part of me that had molded itself around him just couldn't detach, because I wasn't just losing him. I was losing myself, because I had merged so fully together with him that I didn't know where he ended and I began. So when I say that I'm scared I'll lose myself again, I'm not being dramatic. I'm just remembering something that my body still holds, because trauma just, your body always remembers trauma. Even when you heal, even when you grow, even when you rebuild yourself into a woman who is grounded and ambitious and independent and self-aware, the body remembers the part of love that harmed you. The parts that made you so small. The part that taught you that if you want someone to stay, you have to disappear. So the moment now in the present, when a new person enters my life and gives me softness and warmth and connection and closeness, that protective part of me wakes up and goes, wait a minute, we've been here before. This will not go well. It's as if like there's this like, I don't know, this alarm system going off inside of me, even though nothing inherently like bad is happening. Like, everything is super cute and kind and safe and respectful and consensual. Everything is chill because this fear isn't about him. The fear is about me. The fear is about the version of me I once was, the girl who folded herself into a shape that wasn't hers and didn't notice until she was gone. So now when I feel myself getting excited, my attachment system activates like a fucking haunted house. When I feel attracted, I panic. When I feel vulnerable, I panic. When I feel like cuddling for hours, I panic. When I feel distracted from my routines, I panic. Not because I'm fragile, but because I've been here before, and surviving that took everything I fucking had. And the thing is, when you start looking at the psychology, and the panic makes complete sense when you look at the psychology, because these early stages in like romantic attraction, those literally like kidnap like your brain. There's this woman who studied, what's her name? Helen Fisher. She studied people in love using MRI machines and found that new romantic interest lights up the dopamine reward system the same way that cocaine does. Which makes so much sense, because I literally feel like every time I spend time with him, I feel so, I don't know, like I don't want it to end. And then the second he leaves, I feel like I'm on a come down, as if I'm doing fucking drugs. As if I'm doing drugs, literally. So when like, I feel like it's not a surprise that I feel like I don't want to use the word obsessed. Because like last episode, I was literally talking about how I'm so proud of myself that I'm not crashing out and obsessing over somebody. And I'm not obsessed. I'm not obsessed in the way that I once used to be in the past. But I definitely like him, which is kind of annoying me. It's annoying me. I don't want to like anyone. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't even know why I started dating if I'm not ready to like people. I am ready, but I'm not ready because this is freaking me out. I feel like I'm also not thinking clearly because, as we just established with Miss Helen Fisher, my brain is on drugs, okay? The same dopamine reward system in my brain is activated right now as if I would have just done a bunch of cocaine. And then you obviously can add in like oxytocin, which is like the bonding hormone. It's released during like cuddling and physical closeness, and suddenly you're emotionally fusing with someone who you don't even know that well yet. Like, you're still getting to know this person. And oxytocin absolutely tricks our nervous system into thinking we've known this person like for so long and we're so comfortable with them and whatever. And it just creates this illusion of like deep connection that isn't actually based on shared values or trust or compatibility. It's based on proximity and warmth. And for someone like me who loves deeply, someone who is sensitive, someone who attaches through intensity and meaning and fantasy, it's like handing a loaded weapon to a fucking toddler, okay? And it's my fault because I'm a cuddle addict. So all I've been saying is like, let's just cuddle. I actually need to take a step back. I need to take a step back and I need to be like, wait a minute. We're not going to cuddle now for a few weeks. We're just going to go on dates because this is fucking tricking my brain so hard, and it's not good. And as many of you probably know by now, I don't attach slowly. I don't attach logically. I attach all at once, through feeling, through energy, through imagination, through the potential of what could be. And this is where it gets super dangerous, because the girl I used to be attached through self-erasure. The girl that I used to be merged through abandonment of herself. The girl I used to be thought closeness meant sacrificing everything else. So the girl I am now, this like more healed version, still feels these echoes of that like old instinct. Let me disappear into you. Let me make you the center of my universe. Let me turn my life into something that orbits you. But now I just feel it sooner, because now I'm like catching it, right? Now I see the moment where my heart leans too far forward and I tense up, because I know what that slope kind of leads to. And I think the sadness that hits me is really just grief mixed with fear. Grief for the girl I used to be, the one who didn't know how to protect herself, and fear that she might come back. Fear that if I don't hold myself tightly enough, I'll slip back into old patterns. Fear that softness will seduce me into forgetting the self I worked so hard to build, because healing isn't about forgetting. Healing is remembering and choosing differently, right? And the truth is, every time I start to like someone, I temporarily forget my routines. I forget to drink water. I forget to eat food. Literally, do you think I've fucking eaten food in the past fucking couple of weeks? No! It's so fucked up. I just can't eat. It's so bad. I just can't eat. I can't. I just forget to like prioritize the things that make me feel grounded and safe. And I confuse the loss of routine with the loss of identity. But that's not the same thing. Like losing the fact that I'm like, for example, not eating food at the moment is not losing myself. It's just, I don't know. It just means that I'm distracted, right? That's what it means. I'm being distracted. I'm like, but it makes me feel like I'm losing myself, because it happens like slowly, like through tiny neglected routines and tiny ignored boundaries, tiny sacrifices. That just, I don't know. I think my brain just associates any kind of wobble with collapse. Does that make sense? But I need to remind myself that the loss of routine is not the loss of identity. But the difference is now the thing that I need to like, I don't know, I feel like the old me didn't notice the wobble. You know what I mean? The old me didn't have boundaries. The old me didn't question the feeling of merging with someone. The old me didn't have a strong enough sense of self to protect. The old me didn't know how to choose herself, because she didn't even know who she was. This version of me does, though. And that is literally the evidence that I won't lose myself again. Period. The fuck? Because the warning signs aren't coming from danger, they're coming from awareness. The fear means that I've grown. The fear means I'm conscious. The fear means I'm paying attention. The fear means I can feel the edges of myself so clearly now, and that's why I'm scared of anything that threatens to blur them. I'm not disappearing. I'm noticing the possibility of disappearing, and that noticing is what's protecting me, right? And I think that's the real journey for people like me. People who love deeply, people who feel deeply, people who get swept up easily. It's not about shutting down. It's not about being guarded forever. It's about learning to stay yourself while letting someone in. It's about learning to be soft without dissolving, and it's about holding your own shape even when you're even while you're being held. And I think all of this shit is also just putting to the forefront how much I struggle with discipline, because I think this like spending time with someone new, liking them, getting to know them, cuddling them, whatever, it's just like holding up a mirror to how much I struggle with discipline. Because if it were up to me right now, I would just stay in bed with them for like eternity and like forget about the whole world and everything that I need to be taken care of. Which then makes me realize, wait a minute, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like, where's my discipline at? Shouldn't I be getting up and getting my shit done? Why am I prioritizing escapism over working towards my future. And that is like something I struggle with constantly. Even though I've become better at it and I'm doing things, I always feel like I'm not doing enough, which I know is true. I am not doing enough. I could be doing more and more and more and more and more. And since that is like a thing a thing I struggle with in general, I think that's what this is also just making me notice, or it's just making it even more obvious to me. And honestly, I think what I need to do is like be disciplined with like the way I approach this, because I don't want to lose myself, like, and I don't want to avoid dating either. That's stupid. But I think the way I can avoid losing myself while dating is by guiding myself through it with my podcast, with you guys, by talking to myself, which I do all the time anyway. I need to like stay grounded and check in with myself and pace myself and remember my rituals and notice when my fantasy in my head starts running ahead of reality, balancing the oxytocin high with actual logic, choosing someone from my truth and not my trauma. And I'm not trying to run from this feeling. There was a part of me earlier that was like, I need to cut this off because what the fuck? But that's not going to help me either. I need to not run from it. I need to understand it, anchor myself inside of it, and stay awake. And if you're listening to this and you've been scared of liking someone again because you're terrified of losing yourself, just know that fear doesn't mean you will. It means you're aware enough to stop it before it happens. It means you've evolved. It means the part of you that once disappeared is now protected by the part of you that survived. You're not them anymore. You're not that person who lost themselves. And even if that fear still whispers in your ear, you're not going to disappear again. Not this time, not with this version of you. We're learning how to love without erasing ourselves. Am I right? And honestly, I think that's like the whole point of life. Is it? That's a big statement. Anyways, I love you guys so much. You know where to find me. Low Key Chaotic Podcast everywhere. And I'll see y'all next week.